Hello and welcome to Asphodel Education Point. You know, we have been covering data structures and algorithm, and this is the second day of our lecture. So our topic of discussion is linked list, which is a huge topic, and I will cover only single linked list in today's class, so that it becomes easier for you to understand what a linked list is, because linked list is a very difficult topic and it is a very huge topic. So I will be breaking it into single linked list, double linked list, circular linked list, circular double linked list, okay, in 2 sessions. So today, since your linked list idea is not there, I will be explaining only the single linked list. So please follow this class very carefully. Let's move into the linked list. You know, I have been explaining repeatedly about data structure, and data structure is nothing but a logical representation of data, because data is stored in the memory. You know, whatever input we are giving to the computer, they are being stored in the memory, but they must be stored in some structured fashion, because if they are not stored in a structured fashion, then it will be very difficult to manage them, to represent them, to study the relationship among them, okay, what you can say. So those, so many things are actually being aided by a data structure. Otherwise data management would have been very difficult task for us. So data structure is important for proper management of data, for proper storage of data, and to study the relationship among different kinds of data. Now this data structure is actually divided into two parts, namely the linear data structure and non-linear data structure, based on the way they are arranged in memory, okay, in based on the way the data elements within the data structure are actually arranged in the memory. As you know that in a linear data structure, the order of data elements is in a linear fashion, in a linear fashion. So this is in case of say arrays, stacks, queues, which you may have heard on day one, okay. I have already covered them. So if you didn't follow yet, then please go through that lecture, okay, on arrays, stacks, queues and data structure, and you will get to know. Now out of linear data structure, we are left with linked lists, and our topic of discussion is linked list, in particular single linked list in today's lesson. Okay. Non-linear data structure is something where data is not arranged in a linear fashion, like say in case of trees. The tree as a data structure will also be discussed in the next few classes, so I am not going into details today. Let's concentrate on today's topic as linked list. Now what is a linked list? A linked list is a linear data structure. The main thing in linked list to understand is, as you can understand, that it will be in the form of a list. Now you may have seen different kinds of lists. It can be the list of players in the playing 11 playing for India. It can be list of different commodities which you are buying from the market, okay. They are all popular lists which we use in day-to-day life. But in those lists, okay, the suppose the elements are the nodes here, okay. Consider that the players of Indian cricket team are arranged in the form of a list. You know, Rohit Sharma, Shikhar Dhawan, Virat Kohli, Shreyas Iyer, okay, Hardik Pandya, all of them are coming one after another. That is the list, but it is not a linked list. Linked list in the sense that all of them are playing for India. That is fine. That is the link. But linked list in particular with respect to data structure, we cannot call them linked list. Linked list. Now consider each of these elements. Each player is a node in the list. The list has 11 elements because 11 of them are participating in the game. Now each of them are considered as a node. Now that node in a linked list has necessarily two parts, okay. One is the data part and another one is the link part. The data part will be having the data. Say for player number 1, the data part is Rohit Sharma. For the second node, the data part is Shikhar Dhawan, so on and so forth. but the link part is empty in this case. But in computer, the linked list as a data structure, there is also a link part. Now what is that link part? The link part is the address of another node. The link part is an address of another node that you will get to know through a diagram, that a link and I will show you, obviously I will show you that. That means the linked list is having two things, one is the data part and the link part. Data part, you know, it will be containing the element, and the link part will contain the address of another node. Okay, so that is all about the linked list. Now why did linked list come into existence? Okay, let's recall that what were the limitations of the array. The major limitation of the array was that it had a fixed dimension. You declared the array of size 10 or 15 or 20, okay, but for some reason you do not put all the elements within the array. That means the size of array is 10, but for some reason you are putting only 5 elements in the array. Now what happens to the spaces for the remaining 5 elements? They are lost. That means that memory is lost. No, not it. That is one limitation, that you cannot dynamically control them. You cannot dynamically control the size. And also the other limitation is that you cannot also increase it runtime. For some reason you have to enter the 11th element for within an array of size 10. It is not possible because the array is already declared as the max size is set to 10. So it is not possible to enter the 11th element at runtime. So these are important limitations of the array. There is a chance of memory loss, and due to its fixed dimension we cannot add elements at runtime within the array. Okay, these are the major limitations. And also the other major limitations include inserting and deleting within an array. You know it very well that array elements are governed by the indexes on which they are put. So you have to track the index locations to delete that which element you want to delete. You have to traverse the array and find the index, okay, and update it accordingly to perform a deletion operation within an array. And also to insert an element to the array, your index must be updated. Is not it? Your index must be updated. Otherwise it is very difficult to insert. So the cost of insertion and deletion is an array is more. So that is another limitation. But it has also a positive point, that the random and sequential access in an array was easier because the array elements were located in contiguous location, and as such the way you access the element in a sequential manner, that is easier because you know one address of one element. You can easily track that what is the address of the next element or the element after that, just by adding that how much memory it is taking as an integer array or float array. You just go on adding those memory addresses. I mean memory loop. Suppose a particular array is a particular array index is located at 1000, then if it is an integer array, you know it very well that A1 will be located at 1004. So that is very easy because they are located one after the other in the contiguous location. So that was a positive point also, but it had also certain limitations, like I already told you. Now to overcome these limitations we need linked list. Okay, the major benefit of linked list is that memory can be dynamically allocated to it. That means element can be added in memory locations dynamically. If there is no fixed size of a linked list, you can easily create one new node, and within that you can add one element at runtime. That is possible. That is very much possible in case of a linked list. And also if you happen to find that you need not have to declare the length of the linked list earlier. So even if it is filled up as many elements as you insert, so those many nodes you have to create. I mean that amount of nodes only. There is no question of wastage also, and that too you can create dynamically to accommodate a new element within a linked list. So due to its dynamic memory allocation, linked list has advantages over an array. But also there are limitations of linked list, that it is not stored in a, the nodes are not stored in sequential manner, so they are not in contiguous locations. Okay, they are stored in sequential manner. Okay, I should not say that they are not stored in sequential manner, they are linear data structure, so they are in sequential manner, but the memory locations are not contiguous. You will get to know that when I give you the diagram of a linked list. So there is no guarantee that the nodes will be placed in contiguous locations. So as such, the sequential access of a linked list is difficult compared to an array. You can see here that the node consists of a data part and a link part, and you know that link contains the address of another node. It points to the address of the next node. So popularly it is also called as next. And data part is simple, it will have the elements. If you see that in this particular case you are having three nodes, the first node is having a data part as 14 and address part as 100. So necessarily the second node will have the address as 100, its element is 30 and its link part is having 400, that is it will point to some node whose address is 400. So naturally the third node, which is having 42 as a data element, should be at address 400, and the third node is not pointing to anything. So that pointer, the pointer of the next pointer, okay, if you call that the address part is next, if you name it as next, then you can assign it to null because it is not pointing to anything. Again you can see this is a linked list of size 4. Okay, the data part, okay, the first node is called as the head and the last node is pointing to the null because it is a single linked list which I am expected to cover today. So the last node you can easily understand, whose data part is whose link part is null, that is it is not pointing to anything, in other words it is grounded, and the head part is the starting. So nodes are structures made up of data and pointer to another node, and usually the pointer is called next. Same thing, collection of nodes with various fields. It contains data field and address fields or link field that you can see from this diagram. This is simple comparison. You can easily watch this video and you can get to know that what are the difference between arrays and linked list. All these things I already covered, so you can just go through it, like fixed size, resizing is expensive, and in linked list it is dynamic size. Insertion deletions are efficient or inefficient, whereas in linked list they are efficient. There is no memory waste. There is no chance of memory waste in array, and there is no memory waste only when you know that the number of elements is equal to or almost equal to the size of the array, then there is no memory wastage. In other cases there is chance of a memory wastage, whereas in linked list there is no chance of memory wastage because memory is allocated dynamically. And regarding the sequential access and random access, I already told you, here array is advantageous over linked list. That thing I already told you. These are the different types of linked list. Today I will take up single linked list, so let's proceed there. Now there are different kinds of operations on linked list which you can perform easily. The basic operations on linked list are creation, insertion, deletion, traversing, searching, concatenation and display. Now creation means you have to create a linked list. You have to understand how you create a linked list. Then you have to insert a node within the linked list. Then there is a process that how you can delete a node. Okay, traversing means that you are going through all the nodes. Okay, you are traversing through all the nodes. Okay, either in forward or backward direction. So forward in single linked list we can only traverse in forward direction, whereas in doubly linked list we can traverse in both directions. That will be take up in the next class. Searching means to search for a particular element within a linked list. Okay, suppose a linked list is having 10 nodes, and those 10 nodes are having 10 elements. You want to search for a particular element within the linked list, whether it is present or not. That operation is searching. Concatenation is joining of two linked lists. There are two linked lists and you want to join them. And displaying is simple. You want to display the content of the linked list in the terminal. That is the display. So these are the basic operations on linked list. Okay, I already told you the creation operation is used to create a linked list. Insertion operation is used to insert a new node. Deletion operation is used to delete an item from the linked list. Traversing is the process of going through all the nodes, right? So these things I already told you. Searching operation is a process of accessing the desired node in the list. That I gave you an example. Concatenation operation is the process of appending the second list to the end of the first list. That means you are just joining the two lists. You are adding the second list at the end of the first list. That means you are just concatenating, you are adding them. The display operation is used to print each and every node's information. Okay, that is to print the content of each node. You use the display operation. This is fine. Now, how can you insert within a linked list? That is very important. How you insert within a linked list. So to understand this, let's actually draw one list here. Again, please be patient because drawing in this way may take some time. So let me draw one node. Let me press the control key. I think that by pressing the control key I can keep the line straight. But no. This is one node. So minimum I need 3 nodes to demonstrate this. Please be patient while I try to draw the nodes. So these are the nodes. Now each node has two parts. From theory you know that each node has two parts, namely the data part and the link part. So data part and the link part are there. We have data part and the link part. Now this is same for all the nodes. And what is the data? Data will be having the element, and link is a pointer to the address of another node. It is a pointer to address of another node. That means that link, if it points to the next row, next node in sequence, then this link should point to this. And again this link, that is this pointer, should point to the next. So it is very straightforward. It is something like this. So these are data and link part. Okay. Now when I want to insert a new node, what happens? There are two steps to be followed. Make the next pointer of the node point towards the first node of the list. That means what? Make the next pointer of the node point towards the first node of the list. Make the start pointer point towards this new node. If the list is empty, simply make the start pointer point towards the new node. That is, this process is inserting a node in the beginning. Now suppose there is another node here which I want to insert. This is a particular node which I want to insert in this linked list. Follow this carefully. Okay. Now this link must point to the data of this node. That means make the next pointer of the node point towards the first node of the list. That means this is the next pointer of the new node to be inserted, and this must point to what? This must point to the first node of the list. Now this must point to the first node of the list. As such, what happens? You have successfully inserted a node at the front of the list. So this is the procedure. You have inserted a row at the front of the list. You assign the pointer, the link part of the newly inserted node to the starting node. So the new start will be the one which you have just inserted. That means make the start pointer points towards this new node. That means this should be the starting node now, is not it? That is why the start pointer must point towards this new node. And if the list is empty, then simply make the start pointer points towards the new node. That means there is nothing there, the list is already empty. So this is the start pointer in itself. This is the start pointer is in itself, because in such a case no other elements are actually present in the list. So it is self-explanatory. I think that you have understood. As I told you, there can be three cases. One is insertion at the beginning, another one is insertion at the end, and the third one is insertion after a particular node. Again come back here. So this process is to insert at the beginning. If I had to insert at the end, I could have done that, or somewhere in beginning, that is or somewhere in between. That means I want to insert this new node in between this and this. That is also possible. So there are three possibilities to insert a linked list, insert within a linked list, right? So the one which I just described is the process to insert at the beginning of the list. That's it. That is the thing which we were explaining. Okay, that thing, that this is the head. Okay, and now this one is a new node. So this new node, this pointer must point to the address of this first element, is not it? That is the way how you insert it, and your new node should be assigned to the start pointer. That is the way how you insert it in the beginning. Now inserting at the end, here we simply need to make the next pointer of the last node to the new node. That means earlier we for the beginning case we simply need to make the next pointer point to the start node, and now we simply need to make the next pointer of the last node point to the new node. That means here it was null, it was the last node in the previous case until this dark colored node was being inserted. Now if this dark colored node is being inserted after this light colored node, then this one must point to this link part must point to the address of the newly inserted node, and the address of the new inserted node must be set to null. I think you are getting my point. This must be inserted to the null. Okay, after these three cases I will show you one program, then hopefully you will understand. Inserting after an element, this is the complex. That means you need to insert neither in the beginning nor in the end, but somewhere in between. Okay, somewhere in between. So what you need to do, make the next pointer of the node to be inserted point to the next node of the node after which you want to insert the node. Make the next pointer of the node after which the node is to be inserted point to the node to be inserted. Okay, these things may sound a little complex here, but if you see this diagram, I want to insert this dark colored node in between these two light colored nodes, this one and this one. Now what I need to do, this node has a pointer, right? It was earlier pointing to what? to this one. Suppose this is node number 1, this is node number 2, and this is node number 3. Suppose this node is 1.5, that is you want to, this is just for convention, okay, to make you understand that 1.5 is between 1 and 2, and that means I want to insert this node in between these two bright colored nodes, these two 1 and 2 nodes. So what I need to do, you can easily understand from the figure that before this operation was to be performed, the address of node 1, that is the link part of the node 1, was pointing to the address of node 2, is not it? As you can see that it is dotted, a dotted line is representing that the link part of node number 1 was pointing to the address of node number 2. But that means I need to change this. I have to manipulate these pointers. I have to manipulate this pointer as well as the pointer of the newly inserted node. If I can manipulate these two pointers, that is pointer to node 1 and pointer to node 1.5, then I am successful in inserting a node in between node number 1 and node number 2. Here you can see that this is a new node which is having a data as 30. Now to shift, you have to assign the pointer of node number 1 to the address of the newly assigned. That is being done. Look at this end, that is being done. And the link part of the newly inserted node, that is the link part of this node 1.5, that should point to the address of the node number 2. I think it is very straightforward now through this diagram, and after I have marked this as node number 1, 2, 3 and 1.5, I think you are understanding this. Still I will show you the program, then it will be easier for you. I will show it, don't worry. Okay, now before proceeding into the deletion, let me show you that how this thing is working. Okay, now if I open this program, you can see that this is insertion. Okay, this is a linked list. It is a data structure of type struct. It is a structure in itself, is not it? That is why let's name it as a node, because you know that linked lists are comprised of nodes. Now it has a data part, that is why we have written in data, and it has a pointer called next. Now what is this pointer doing? From theory you know that this pointer is pointing to the address of the next one. That means what will be the type of this pointer? It is not integer pointer, character pointer, float pointer, but what is the type of this pointer? Since it is pointing to the address of the next node, that means this pointer must necessarily be of type node, is not it? And if it is of type node, what is node in turn? Node is a structure. So this pointer will be of type node and it will be a structure. That is why the data type of this pointer, okay, the data type of this link or this pointer of each node must be of type struct node, provided that the name of the node is defined as node only in your program. Okay, think this for a few seconds, that how this thing is important, because understanding this particular thing means that you have understood linked list, and if you understand single linked list, automatically you will understand other type of linked lists. Just the manipulation of pointers, you have to keep in mind. While studying linked list, it is nothing but you have to keep in track of the different pointers and you have to manipulate, you have to play with those pointers to make it meaningful and to make your list as you want to manipulate it. Okay. So struct node, that means your each node in the linked list will be of a structure, and that particular structure will have two items. One is the data part and it's the address part, and the address part is nothing but a pointer because it is pointing to the address of the next node. So necessarily it should be a pointer of type node, and node is a structure, so it should be struct node star next. I think it is clear to you. Now this method push will actually insert a particular node at the beginning. This will insert a particular node in the beginning. So struct node void push method will take what parameters this method is going to take, that is important. It is taking the head reference, that is it is taking input what, the pointer of the which is referring to the address of the head, that we must know, because if we don't know, is not it, the pointer, then how can we assign it to the front of the node. So it is also the type of structure. Okay. Now this is the variable head reference. Note this point clearly. This is very important. The new data item that it should also take, and it should have a particular link part, and that link part will be of type struct node, and it will be a pointer to the pointer of the head. It should be a pointer to the pointer of the head reference. Pointer to pointer, is not it? It should be pointer to the pointer. That point must be understood. So let's be back here. It should be a pointer to a pointer. Why? Because this one is a pointer, it was pointing to the next node. Now after inserting this, after inserting the new node, it should point to the address of this node now. That is why it is a pointer to the pointer of the head reference, that is the head node. Then you are allocating the node. This is the place where you are dynamically creating, you are dynamically allocating the memory. Okay, you are creating a new node here in this line. Struct node star new node equal to struct node star malloc size of struct node. That is dynamic memory allocation. The malloc function, it will create a node of type node, and it is a structure. So that is how you allocate the node. Now you are accessing the structure pointer, so you are doing this new node data equal to new data. That means you are inserting data into your new node, and look at this thing. This new node next should be the point to the head reference. That means it should now be the new head, is not it? It should now be the new head because it is being inserted at the front of the linked list. And that happens through this line, that the new node is the head reference. That means first you are assigning it, you are accessing it, okay, through this the new node next equal to head reference, and next you are assigning the new node to the head reference. That means your new node is now the head node. Okay, follow this diagram. Your new node is now the head node. Now the remaining two methods are insert after you are having, you need to insert this particular thing in between two different nodes at a particular location. So you must know that what is the address of the previous node after which you want to insert the new node. That is why it is taking this parameter start node, start previous node, and also the new data. But if previous node is not equal to null, obviously, because if previous node is equal to null, that means you are actually inserting at the beginning like in the earlier method, but it should not be null, otherwise you cannot insert in between. You then create the new node as earlier. Okay, dynamic memory allocation using the malloc function, create the new node. Again new node data equal to new data, and your new node next is equal to previous node next. New node next should be the previous node next, that is the address, the newly assigned address. Now move back to this one. Let's move back to this position. You had to do two changes. Okay, your previous, you must input it as the parameter, so that is why your pointer to the previous node was taken as a parameter because of this, otherwise you don't know where to insert. Now you need to do what? Your link part of the newly inserted node should point to the next node, and who was pointing to the next node earlier? The head node. So whatever value in the head pointer was accessing this particular light colored node with data item 3, that must be done through the newly inserted node. That is why you have done this. New node slash next, new node pointer x is equal to previous node next. That means whatever was the previous node next pointing to, that will now the new node which will point to that. Previous node was pointing to some address, and now after this operation the new node will be pointing to that address. Again your new node will be pointing the previous address. That means you are just, you remember the swapping of the two variables using the third variable? We are doing exactly that. We are interchanging the pointer values through this. Is not it? We are doing kind of that. Through this intermediate node, we are connecting the two nodes which were previously connected with each other. Now the last part, where you need to insert at the end. This is again start node star last equal to head reference. Okay, now provided that the node was not there. Okay, so in that case the head node will be the last node, and our new node data is equal to new node. That means whatever data you are inserting into the new node, that will be assigned there, not a problem here. New node next equal to null, you must do it because this should be the new last node. That is why your new node next should point to null now, because your newly inserted node at the back of the list must now be your last node. That is why you have done that. Again, if linked list is empty, head reference equal to new node. That thing I already told you, that when your last node and the first node will be same, that is you are just inserting one into the list, one node into the list, then your head reference is equal to null. That is quite obvious because nothing is there. Now how I traverse to the next node. Now while last next not equal to null, that means when my last node is not pointing to the next node, okay, my last node will point to the next node which is not equal to null. That means my last node I have not yet reached, then only my last node can have the new value. Otherwise my last node will be my new node. My last node will be my new node. That is the thing. Last next equal to new node. And just to print the content of the linked list, you have done while node not equal to null, printf percentage %t node data, node equal to node next, so that the next node in the list is traversed. And this is the main program. Okay. This is the main program. You are just calling the methods start node star head equal to null, then append function will actually add one row, add one new element to the list, that is insertion, and this one will print the list. Okay, that is the program. It is not a big deal, but only few things which you should understand is that how the pointers are being played with, So I will check. Yes, this particular program copied into the GDB compiler, online compiler. Let's run this. Okay, now created list is 17864. How is that happened? Now if you look into the main function, the element which was first inserted was 6. Okay, then it was inserted as 7, so it becomes 7 6, and 6 was pointing to null because 6 was the only element in the list. After that 7 was inserted at the front of the list from the beginning, that is why it was ampersand head comma 7. Now what has happened? Inserting 1 at the beginning, so the list should become 176 null. Then insert 4 at the end. Now after 176 null you are going to end it, so 4 should point to the null, so 1764 null. Then insert 8 after 7, that means after a particular node you want to insert it. So 7 was pointing to 6, so now 7 will point to 8 and 8 in turn will point to 6, so the new list becomes 17864. So but through this program we have inserted an element at the front, has inserted an element at the back, and have also inserted an element in between the first and the last node. Okay, after a particular node. So I want your questions, because this is a very important part of data structure, and if you can get hold of linked list, then the whole scenario will be very easy for you as far as data structure is concerned, because without data structure and without proper understanding of linked list you cannot progress much, you cannot get interest in the rest of the course. So understanding this one is very easy. I think this topic is if I go on discussing the deletion also, then it will be all the concepts will be marked up. So let's keep it simple. Let's keep it up to insertion in a single linked list only. And on the next day I will be covering deletion part, because otherwise it will be difficult. Okay, so maybe tomorrow or day after I will be covering deletion within a single linked list. Meanwhile, if you have any question, okay, you can ask me in group, or you can put up questions in the comment section. So let's conclude this portion here. That so we learned linked list here, its advantages and disadvantages of an array. Then what are the different methods of inserting in a linked list. Okay, then I showed you a program that how to insert at the beginning, insert at the end, and insert after a particular node within a linked list. So I think it's clear to you. So related to this thing, you can ask me anything. Next day I will be covering deletion, and then again I will be telling you about linked list in an extensive manner, in with some more clarity. Okay, so the more you practice, the more you can learn, and that is the bottom line, that you have to study hard, then only you can understand. So I hope you enjoyed today's class. Okay, looking forward to see you again for the next class. Bye.